So let me drop the link to the doc into chat. So welcome everybody to October 13th architecture meeting for Ortelius. I just dropped the link to the doc in the chat. And Ukarsh, you had a question about one of the issues?
Yes.
All right, let me get over there. Which issue number was it?
Oh, okay.
Or if you just know the title of it,
is,
either one.
Yeah, issue number is 526.
526. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, so issue 526.
Yeah, you can open like 5 to 5.
Open 525. Yeah, they're basically the same.
Correct. Okay, so basically the objective of this issue was to, like, whatever the JSON is there, okay, we just have to transform this into the below contract, right?
Yeah. So one of the things that JSON, when we look at the output from the SBOMs, is they come out in pretty print format. So they got a lot of tabs and spaces and carriage returns. And all that extra stuff isn't good for the NFT. So the goal on this issue and 526, which is the Python version of this, is to take and minimize all of that white space and kind of like a JS minify version of it.
Okay.
Where we want to collapse it into a the smallest possible JSON structure.
Okay, I have something to demonstrate. Shall I share my screen?
Yep. So the reason, let me just, before you go and I stop sharing, the reason we want to do this is and part of it is between the Node.js and the Python, we should end up with the same minification of the JSON structure, because then when we calculate the hash for that structure, we're going to come up with the same thing. And the point of it, of this minification and getting that consistent hash for the same data is when we push it into IPFS, into NFT storage, it only gets stored once. So all the storage on the NFT storage is based on the hash, basically, of the content. So that's where we want to have this consistent minified version of JSON, so we don't end up storing the same thing twice. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to pass it over to you.
Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, like in every programming language, right? So there is one or other method that is responsible, that using which method we can minify this JSON contract. Okay, so to demonstrate that, I have created a JS file and a Python file. Okay, and my sample contract is the same that you have shared in the issue. Okay, this one is the sample one and this one is the sample two. So as you can see, the indentation is messed up, but the data is same.
Perfect.
Okay. So if we just load the data and do the JSON.stringify, whatever response that we'll get, we can compare with the expected one. This is the expected one. I copied it from the issue. And if we run this, we can see whenever we do a stringify, JSON.stringify, we'll get the minified version of the JSON object.
Perfect.
So actually no method is required as per JavaScript, but I did some investigation and I saw that this object could vary. Okay, so right now this object is of type JavaScript object. So this could be another object. In that case, we'll face some issue. So what is your suggestion?
What do you
Like,
mean
should
if
we
it's
create
some
something?
other object?
So there is something, there are like other data structure as well, like dictionary or something.
Right.
Okay, so in Python, correct. So in that case, I don't know how this will behave. The data structure is different from that.
Right. So if we have a dictionary, you're saying, so if we have a dictionary object that contains the same data, that it may get transformed into the JSON string differently. Is that, am I understanding that correctly?
I need to investigate. Right now, this is the JavaScript object. So this is working fine with JSON.stringify.
Okay. So I think in your, the one solution around that would be to take the dictionary and convert the dictionary into a JSON object and then stringify it from the JSON object. I think that will work if we have a dictionary object that we're going to work with.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. There is, okay, this was with respect to this JavaScript.
Yeah.
For the Python. So I did the similar kind of thing, but here there is something called JSON.load and JSON.dump.
Right.
Okay, so when we say JSON.load, this will load the data, and when we say JSON.dump, this will give us the output.
Right.
And
okay.
Here what I saw, they have a different standard altogether. They are just printing one space after a colon. And I read some documents and stuff, so that is their standard actually. Let me run this again.
Somewhere in there.
Yes. So this is the output right now. So we can write a method. Okay, we can write a method and truncate this space, no issues. But my question is, do we want to like move ahead with the standard that they have defined?
What we'll need to do is from one side or the other, from the, what I mean by that is either from the JavaScript side or from the Python side, we need to adjust the data, the output, so both of them match.
Yeah,
and the
correct,
reason for this is because we may have microservices that are written in Python and we may have microservices that are written in Node.js. So we need to make sure that they're both talking the same language.
Yeah, correct. In the microservice world, that makes sense.
Now, I think in the Python side, in the JSON module, on the JSON dumps, I think it takes a bunch of parameters
Yes,
that we may be able to pass and have it strip the extra space on that.
Okay. I'll add that to mention it.
And conversely, on the Node.js side, on the stringify, it may have parameters on stringify.
I'm not sure, but that only takes the input parameter, just one input parameter.
Right. Let me look at Python.
But JSON dumps, yeah, it takes a couple of parameters.
Because I know on the let's look at the library here.
Okay, value.
Preprint.
Okay, I can see two overloaded methods are there. So yes.
Yeah, so it looks like Separators default. I'd have to look at what these exactly mean. There's an item separator and a key separator. Oh, okay. So it's interesting. I think you just pass in, where's chat? So in the key separator, one of the key separators is colon space. And if we change the, it says there, if you want to get the most compact rest, you change that tuple to eliminate the white space.
Oh, okay.
Let me see where that goes as part of the parameter. I think it's just separators equal and then the tuple. Oh, okay. It's actually a tuple of two
Key value pairs, huh?
Yeah. But you get the idea. We don't have to go into the details now, but I think that should help make the most compact version that will match up with the JSON side. I mean, the JavaScript side.
Yes. Yep. Okay. The other question was, okay, there would be another story for finding out the like hashing algorithm, because
Yes.
we will also need that.
Okay. I think on the hashing algorithm will be taken care of by the NFT storage algorithm. But yes, we'll create another story on that to make sure, and I think there's one out there about adding or removing to NFT storage. I'd have to double check.
Yes, yeah, I think 257 528.
Not quite. I think it's a little bit. It may not be there. It's close to 258, but not 100%. We'll create a new issue for that just to make sure.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so the JavaScript one, Arvind worked on that, and the Python one I was working yesterday.
Okay, perfect.
And worked on this.
So what we'll need to do is we should probably create a directory in this repo. We could do it against this repo, or we could do it against the XRPL ledger repo. So if you go up to the Ortelius org level, and I think it's starts with like LB.
I think it's yeah.
That LA, there it is. So we can we may want to put your coding changes as in a directory here that we can kind of, you know, put the example in there, and then we could do the pull request and keep track of the bounty piece. So go ahead and do it off of this repo, and maybe we just call it snippets or something like that as the folder.
How about commons?
Yeah, yeah,
commons.
whatever you think makes sense.
Okay.
And then make under that, you'll have a JS and another directory for Python.
Okay.
And then let Arvind know that he needs to do a PR against this repo with his coding example. Arvind, you're here. Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Just listening to you.
Yeah, and then when you do the PR, you can cross-reference the issues. So in the PR at the very top, in your comment part, the very first box that you fill out on the PR, you can say resolves, and then you do Ortelius/Ortelius pound like 525, and that'll allow you to cross-reference the issue over to the other repository. So when we go through and merge this, approve and merge this PR, it'll actually go through and close it in the other repo automatically for you. We need to make sure that's
nice.
yeah, and that way we can keep track of the bounties and stuff. Who's getting paid for what?
Okay.
Yeah, I will follow that.
So let's go ahead and, like you said, Ukarsh, go ahead and get the directory structure and the PR sorted out for this, and we'll get those merged.
Sure, I'll raise a PR in some time.
Yeah, no worries. And then go back to the Ortelius one repo, back to where the issues were.
Okay. Ortelius start Ortelius.
Yeah, there we go. So I will go ahead and add the new issue. So we'll have the next step will be taking the minimized data, pushing it and pulling it into NFT storage. So there'll be two new issues coming today, one for Python, one for Node, to push and pull from NFT storage. Now, Ukarsh, when you did the proof of concept, is there something like DevNet, or is it just, is there a development NFT storage? I can't remember.
Yeah. There is a testnet and there is a DevNet.
Okay.
From XRPL side. Yeah, I think I was using DevNet.
Okay.
I don't remember. I'll have to see. But yeah, there are two.
Yeah, and I think there's a corresponding one on NFT storage as well, because we don't need these things to persist forever. You know, we just need them for testing. So I will look into that when I create those two issues on where they should be placed, which NFT storage location.
Okay.
Cool. Now, if you click on 528. So just to give you guys kind of a heads up where we're headed with this. So go ahead and scroll down a little bit. So this is the licenses piece. You can see right there in the middle. The BSD3 clause is the snippet that I kind of pulled out for you to play with as some sample code. What we need to do, and we're going to transform this SBOM into multiple NFTs. So the first NFT will be kind of like the high level package NFT, which is like the name of the package, the plural. The hashes part, we may be able to collapse that into smaller data because they have the algorithm and the content kind of broken out. We can kind of do, what I'm thinking is we can kind of do like what Docker does. So Docker will put like SHA-256, then I think it's an @ or a colon, and then the hash value. So in the hashes, we could collapse this a little more. We can do MD5 colon, and then the MD5 line. So this may change slightly, but that's the package details NFT. And then you see the license NFT. And then we have the kind of like the composite, the package NFT here, the one at the bottom, is pulling everything back together. So you'll see where the license is now referencing the IPFS storage for the license NFT, and then same with the details. The details is going to be the NFT for the package level. So what we'll be able to do, so this is like the next step is to transform the data in the SBOM data into representation like this. And then after we get this going, what the next step will be is to take a full SBOM, break it into the smaller pieces, and place the missing pieces into NFT storage, and then do the reverse, take the package NFT that we have here and expand it back out into the identical SBOM. So what will be, we're kind of starting with the SBOM first, and it's more of the bottom layer, and we'll work our way up to an application version inside of Ortelius. So an application version contains component versions contains these SBOM, these package versions and stuff. So that's where we're headed. We're just going to take it in smaller steps. That kind of makes sense how this is all kind of being pulled together.
Yes.
Now, the main reason why we're doing this is like on the license NFT, there's about maybe 100, 200 different licenses out there. And we only want to store them once. So instead of every SBOM storing the license, and this SBOM that we're looking at here is just for one component. We will, so like this is just for click. If we have one for like fast API, we only want to reference that the same NFT multiple times instead of populating the IPFS storage with duplication at that level. I was talking to what's his name? I want to say Brian from Encore. No, Jason from Encore. And he said when they started running SBOMs against the base Docker images, within 2 weeks, they had 3 gig of data on SBOM data just for the main official Docker images. So what they were seeing is this huge growth in consumption on the SBOM side, just because they kept on repeating the data that they're storing over and over and over. So what we're doing here is going to eliminate that issue. So go ahead.
Correct. That will be a like optimization kind of thing.
Yeah, we're kind of optimizing as we go and as we build this out. So you just think of it this way. So let's say there's 100,000 programs out there, 100,000 Python programs that use click. We will click 712 that we would only have out of the 100,000 programs that are using click, we'd only store that package information once instead of storing it 100,000 times.
Okay.
So go ahead and go back up. Any questions on this part? And this one's has a little bit higher bounty because it's going to take a couple hours to kind of transpose the data. It's a little more complicated than the first one, but for basically 2 hours of worth of work to get this done. Nothing super complicated at this point.
Yep.
And that one's, I think, Perfect Believer has already picked this one up to work on. So I got to follow up with him on where he's at with it.
Yeah. So there is one suggestion I would like to make here is let's not like include or integrate any other third-party libraries until that is needed, because I think this can be coded using the programming language. So I don't see a need of any third-party libraries to be used.
Right. I think just using basic JavaScript and the Python libraries without getting fancy, should be able to make this happen pretty quickly.
Correct. Because if you use a third-party library, the size of the application becomes high, right? That will become, the size will go up.
Right, exactly. Because what ends up happening, because this is just JSON, both JavaScript and Python transform those in. You can get them into dictionaries pretty easily, and then from there, from the dictionary level, you can transpose it and kind of pick it apart and create the newer dictionary objects, and then that's where the issues that you and Arvin are working on are going to tie in, because we'll take those dictionary objects and minify them into the minified JSON format that we can then push into the storage.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on this one?
No.
Okay, cool. So let's go up. There's one other one. We got like just a few, like 1 minute.
Yeah, one more. There's one. This one.
Yep. So this one's going to be a fun one. There is, from SPDX, there's a license list. So if you click on that where it says SPDX license list URL, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. What they've tried to do is list every single license and give it an identifier. And what we need to do is take this license list and create basically an NFT for every single line here. So that's the goal of what we're doing here. Now, if you go back to the issue, one of the nice things that they do is they give us a JSON format, which is that second link there. Yeah, so that's the JSON version of it. So we could actually pull that in and just basically loop through it and create the NFTs based on the license ID there. Yeah.
Okay. Like what all fields do we need? Like
all of we should take all of them.
Okay.
But again, this is going to be one of those.
I think reference numbers, some of the fields are internal to their usage. Looks like.
Probably. I'd hate to remove any of the data since it's not that much.
Yeah.
That, and things may change over time. So let's say, and I think what they mean is, let's say they go through and change the is OSI approved from true to false. I think the reference number would go to like 215 or something, even though everything else has changed. So I think the reference number is kind of like a versioning number for them.
Not sure, but yeah, at this point of time,
yeah,
let's keep it.
Yeah. So I think we should just keep it all. And again, this one here will need to go through the minification process as well.
Okay.
And this one will kind of tie into the when I create the new issue around storing or retrieving on NFT storage. It'll kind of link together with this issue as well. So we probably want to do the, I'll create that issue. Storing and retrieving to NFT storage will kind of be like the next issue. And then this one would be the one after that.
Yes, correct.
And right now there's nobody assigned to it. So this one's up for grabs.
Anybody wants to take this?
Anybody?
Or
Any
else
takers?
I'll assign to myself.
Utkarsh is in it for the money.
No, I told Arvind, like, if you want to pick up anything, just pick up. I'm there to help.
Yep. Cool.
I am new to this too. I am just learning. I will learn from Utkarsh how to do it.
And if you guys want to work on it, like co-code together, just put into the top part, just go ahead and edit the comment that you're going to split it 50-50, or if you're going to split it, 25-75, however you want the split to happen, or for it to go to one person. Just so I know when we go and do the calculations at the end of the month, we know who gets what. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So those are, I'll create a couple more issues today and get them out there. And also remember, when you create your PR for was it 525 and 526 over another repo, tag it with Hacktoberfest so it counts.
Okay.
All right, cool. I'm going to, one last thing is I'm going to kind of do like a stand-up meeting. I gotta look at, I think this time, pretty much every day we'll start going through this. So I'll start it next week, where we'll do like a quick stand-up so we know where everybody's at and we get these things moved along. It'll only be, we'll make it quick. It doesn't have to be a super long meeting unless we need to get into some details, but just so we know where everybody stands and who's waiting on who.
Sure.
All right.
That will be daily, right? That will be
yes,
daily, or
daily, same time as today.
same time?
Unless there's like on the day that there's a an outreach meeting, for example, or a general meeting, we'll just skip that day and go to the next day. Make sense?
Yep.
All right, cool. Any other questions or comments? All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Get those pull requests in before the end of the week, and we'll get those merged, and we could keep on chugging along here.
Sure.
Have a great day, friends. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Hey guys,
Thanks,
in this
everyone.
video, I'm going to show you how
Bye.
to open your Windows 10
All right,
operating
bye.
system with the speech.